Hello and welcome to the Crafty Historian podcast, episode number 35. My name is Rachel and I am studying for a Masters in Public History at the University of York. And this is where I share all my crafty projects over the past month. Today is the 8th of May, so I'm running a bit behind schedule on what I've been working on in April, but it's been a bit of a hectic time, to say the least. But I'm here now, and hopefully you will enjoy what I have to show you today. If I wasn't doing these podcasts monthly and naming them by the month, this would definitely be called the sock show, because that seems to be all I've got for you today, and a jumper. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So yeah, if you want to find me on Ravelry, I am RachelRavenclaw, and on Instagram, I am RavenclawRachel. Instagram, at the moment, I am doing Me Made May, so I am wearing today my Me Made shirt in this blue and white sort of floral pattern. If you want a better look at the shirt, look at my previous video where I did a rundown on all of the me-made items I have in my wardrobe. Thank you also for all the lovely comments that I got on that. Yeah, it's nice to know that someone else appreciates the time and effort that I've put into them. I got a lot of compliments on my sewing, which is interesting. I don't sew as much as perhaps I could. I feel it takes a bit of time setting up the machine, but sewing was the first craft I fell in love with. I made my first skirt when I was 10 and I got my sewing machine for my 15th birthday. So, you know, it's getting old, that sewing machine. It's 8 years old now, but it's still plugging along. Yeah. If you follow my stories, I'm posting daily what I'm wearing, and then if you want to see previous days, I've got a highlight on my page, which is Me Made May, or 2019 Me Made May, because I did it last year as well, and you can look at that highlight there too. So yes, bit of a rambly start, but let's hop into it, starting with finished objects. The first thing I'm going to show, I've got my sock blockers here, are a finished object from last time. These are my Clark socks, if you remember. I'm just going to put them on the blocker so you can see the pattern better. The cable down the front, which hopefully you'll be able to see. There. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. So you can see it's this nice cable, and these softened up a dream when I soaked them. So this is a Wendy Rome 4-ply. My hair is all over it. And these are a really lovely pair of socks to wear now. I really enjoy wearing them. So yes, lovely plain sort of cable on this sort of purpley variegated yarn. So those are from last time. I have since then finished 2 pairs of socks. I believe I was showing these last time. These are my West Yorkshire Spinners local yarn shop day socks. I have already worn them, and I've woven in the ends. Magical. So just to prove I've got 2, here's the other one, and here they are. So this was a ball of yarn that they released for local yarn shop day in 2017. So these are the colours in the local yarn shop day logo. I just did 56 stitches on my 9-inch circulars, which are 2.5 millimeters. So they're a little bit looser gauge than the socks I usually do, but they're still fab. I did a 1x1 twisted rib at the top, although I wish I'd done it in the grey, which I used for heels and toes. This is also a West Yorkshire Spinners grey. And yeah, these are really comfortable to wear. I love West Yorkshire Spinners socks. I have a couple. No, I think I've only got one more skein of West Yorkshire Spinners left in my stash. I've got their 2018 Christmas colourway Fairy Lights. But I have also knitted up Hollyberry and Mallard. So yeah, I really love West Yorkshire Spinners for sock yarn. And it feels good because they come from Yorkshire too. So yes, I did a heel, flap and gusset, which is probably the best fit for my foot. And just a wedge toe. But yes. My sock blockers I got on Etsy. I can't remember if this is their label, Woodico, or whether it's someone else who sells them. But I searched wooden sock blockers and these came from Ukraine. So if anyone's interested, I can find you the link if you would like. But yes, another pair of socks for my sock basket. I'm on a roll this year. So that on those. And the second pair, the second pair of socks I finished, because the first pair I finished last month, as in March, are these. So the ends haven't been woven in yet. These are not for me, so they won't fit on the sock blocker. My mum's friend Kate, she's got rather sensitive feet, but she really likes my hand knit socks. So I made her a pair for when they went to Finland, and she really liked them, so I knit her another pair. These were done toe up in Cole Zig Zag with a navy blue toes, heels and cuff. There's the second one too. I do still need to weave the ends on these ones, but it's a really nice sort of patterned yarn. I like the sort of Fair Isle effect coming in with these ones, the brownie stripes. And yeah, these are done. I knit all of my gift socks on 2.75mm needles on 56 stitches so that they go quicker. I haven't known anyone to wear through their socks yet, because I don't think they wear them as much as like I do. And also I but I always knit with things that are machine washable, so maybe they felt slightly, but they don't care. So yes, another pair of socks, which I will get around to weaving in the ends of at some point. And those are those. But the socks excitement doesn't end there, because I have two half objects, two hose for you. So technically I've got another finished pair of socks, except they're not a pair. One's for me and one's for my mum. So I cast this off last night, so I'm not sure it counts because that's technically May. But these, I'm gonna do the same trick and put it on the top here. These are a pair of simple skip socks. I can't remember who they're by, but I'm knitting these out of the same grey West Yorkshire Spinners that I used for my heels and toes on my local yarn shop day socks to knit this for my mother. So this is the pattern. This is just so that I know where I put the heel in, so I can make it match the next one. And it's this lovely sort of faux cable pattern that comes alive when you stretch it out. Really quite lovely. And they're all in one colour, so they've only got 2 ends to weave in, which is the best. Maybe I need to do some more plain coloured socks, because then I have fewer ends to weave in. So yeah, these, I finished this. I do a wrap and turn heel, which I didn't say with my other pair of finished socks with that one. But yeah, 2.75mm needles, and they are very pretty. So half object, I just need to cast on the second one. These were meant to be, so you can see how they stuck up. These were meant to be a Mother's Day present. Considering Mother's Day was in March, I'm a little bit behind schedule. But I might give them to her for Father's Day instead, because, you know, do the job of both. Yeah, so that's what they look at, like, off the blockers. You don't really get that sort of rib effect. They look really tiny when they're not on blockers. But yes, a hoe. I have to cast on the other one to do that. And then finally my other half object, which I will just swoop on here, is another one of my 2.5mm 9-inch circular socks in this lovely Felici colourway. So Knit Picks Felici, I can't remember the colourway, but I'm calling them my ace socks, so asexual socks, because yeah, infer what you will from that noise. So I actually did these toe up on the needles. So I cast on the toe on a different pair of needles and then transferred them to the 9-inch circulars, because I was unsure of how much I would have, because I only had a 50-gram ball, which I split in half and then knit up. And I put in a wrap and turn heel, which don't fit my foot the best, but they're my go-to when I don't really know how the yarn's going, how much yarn I've got. I do sometimes put in a toe-up gusset and heel flap, but that was more maths than I could deal with. And I quite like the 9-inch circulars for their mindlessness of just being able to go down. To which all of this was quite glorious. I think I got about that much knitted in the cinema. We went to go and see, it was the student cinema. We went to see Thor Ragnarok at the student cinema because they were doing they were showing lots of the Marvel films before Endgame. So we went to see that and I was sat there knitting away because I am that nerd. But hey, Kat didn't mind. She was sat next to me. She wasn't too fussed. And I got a decent amount of these socks done. They're a bit shorter than I normally have them, but we're going into summer, so maybe that's a good thing. So yeah, not sure what else to say, apart from the fact that these are beautiful colours and they are on the go. So those are my half objects. I am working on a third pair of socks, but they don't look like socks. I am participating in the You Win or You Die KAL. So basically, a Game of Thrones KAL, whereby you pick a colour of yarn for characters and you knit them in depending on the episodes and whether or not they live or die. So spoilers for up to episode 3, because that's how far I am up to date of Game of Thrones, if you haven't figured that out, or if I haven't said that yet, because this is where I'm at so far. I will attempt at the end a Afterthought Hill. I've been watching lots of videos about it, and there are so many ends at the moment, I'm sure I will be able to fudge it and like attach it somehow. But these are what I'm deeming my Queens of Thrones. So these are all of these 10 colours up here were the 10 female characters that were left at the beginning of season 8. So if you're interested, this red at the top, we will start with, we have Daenerys, and we've got this sort of beigey teal speckle. We've got some lovely teal speckles in over here. That's Miss Sunday. Then the grey is Sansa, and the sort of white grey is Arya. Then the greeny teal is Brienne. There's a white with pink speckles for Gilly. Purple, this sort of variegated purple for Lyanna Mormont, the little bear. A burgundy for Melisandre. Blue for Yara Greyjoy, and gold for Cersei Lannister. And the way I was doing it is they got 2 rows per episode if they pitched up, 1 if they were assumed alive but weren't seen, and then if they die, down here, they get 1 row of their colour, a row where it's 2 of one colour and 2 of black, so across like a very simple colour work, and then a row of black. So this is symbolising when the little bear died and when Melisandre died, and these 2 characters will be omitted in the next section. I'm using 6 rows of black in between each episode to represent the 6 episodes. So yeah, I'm surprised, if I can say that. I'm surprised so many of them are still alive. I felt certain that if I had done it, I felt certain that this was going to get too short to be a sock, and that I'd have to fudge it. But no, this is longer than my foot, so we're going, and we're only halfway through, and I know what I'm having, because I've watched episode 4, no spoilers here, so I know what's going on in the next section that I've got to knit. I am using for the black a West Yorkshire Spinners in black. I'll hold this one up, so I am doing them sort of concurrently, but I had to get myself up to date before season 4, not season 4, episode 4, but I haven't quite got up to date on this one yet, but I will show you here. So I am doing 2, and most of these are mini skeins from advent calendars or swaps. The red one was from my 2017 advent calendar by All Wool That Ends Wool. I cannot say that name. The sort of beigey one was a swap. Then the grey, I believe, was a Beehive Yarns. The white was from my Yarn Lab UK. Green came from an advent swap with Aileen. Yes. The white and pink was from my Yarn Lab UK. all wool that ends wool was for the purple. The burgundy was Cascade Heritage leftover from my Patronus shawl. The blue is some Regia, and the sort of goldy yellow is also from my Yarn Lab UK Advent calendar from 2018. So yes, it's nice to use up mini skeins in something that isn't my blanket, which I would show because I have put in some squares, but I did that 2 days ago when I was in bed ill. So you're not seeing that this time. But yeah. My Game of Thrones socks are going because I am a nerd. And that we have come to the end of all the socks, but not the end of all of the knitting. No, because I have to show for you my jumper. So if you don't remember, I was knitting, I think I only started it in March. Let me have a look at February. Yeah, I think I only had it in March. My Bittersweet jumper by Veera Välimäki. I said, oh yeah, I will have the body done for you next time. Not only do I have the body, I have one sleeve, and I'm nearly done with the second sleeve, which is the last thing I have to do. I had to hold off because I thought, oh, I can't show you a finished object because I technically finished it in May. So, you know, I got some gift socks done instead. So this is a DK weight jumper. And it's knit in moss stitch. I'm knitting in this gorgeous sort of purpley blue magenta. That's a better colour. So as I said, it's by Veera Välimäki, and I made the slight adjustment in that I didn't want moss stitch sleeves, and I did a different rate of decreases on the sleeve because I wanted a better fitting sleeve. I've done 1 by 1 twisted rib at the cuffs instead of the broken rib they suggest, because I did the same thing up here, so it can like shoop in around the neck. My head does go through this, I can confirm. And it has a split hem at the bottom here, which does need stretching out. It's sort of a pseudo twisted rib that I did here. They wanted me to twist backwards and I was just like, no, I'm not purling through the back loop, no. So yes, we have a split hem like that, and all it's going to take is when I block it to stretch it out so it sits flat like that. There are a few ends to weave in. I think I'm currently only on my 4th ball of yarn. I'm using James C. Brett with merino, which I think I don't have the ball bound with me. I can see because I bought 5 balls because I am perpetually terrified of running out of yarn for a jumper, because I did that with my Chuck jumper and I'm not doing that again. So it's sat over there and I can see it, but I can't remember exactly what the quantity, the ratios were, but there is acrylic in it. It's affordable yarn that I can knit with. But the merino in it makes it really soft. I'm really happy with how this has sort of turned out. So it's slightly oversized, but with fitted sleeves, and I can't wait to have it done. Given the weather we are having in York, it is currently pouring. We made a joke, my friend Kat and I, again, or going to the cinema again later. And we have decided that we are going to harness some of the ducks on campus and get them to pull us on a raft to the cinema, like huskies would, because it is that rainy. You can bet your bottom dollar that the ooze has broken its banks again. I would place good money on that, or at least it will in a few hours, few days. It'll burst its banks, because it always does, and the pubs, they're just used to it. The pubs on the riverside are just used to getting flooded. So there's a tangent about the weather. So yeah, if the weather sticks like this and I finish this jumper, I might even be able to wear it this year before autumn, before the summer comes. The summer comes. No. But yeah, it's a really lovely pattern, and it's written really quite nicely by Veera Välimäki, but it doesn't have many projects. So if you're looking for a nice simple raglan, I mentioned the increase rate on the raglan before. It's a lot. I find it fits shoulders better than the way raglans normally are. There's a different rate of increases on here. I'm not sure if you can tell that, but there is. It feels a bit more like it's built for bodies. So yeah. Now I can finish the sleeve. And I will have a finished object for you at the end of May. Which, you know, it's only 3.5 weeks to go. I don't know, we're a week in. Maybe it's 4 weeks to go. 31 days. -8. 23 days. That took me far too long. Far too long. So yeah. It will definitely need a block. I mean, look at that hem. Hopefully, because of the merino content in it, it will stretch out and have a lovely drape. If not, I'm going to have to do some thinking and potentially rip back that rib, which will be devastating. But yeah, my jumper's nearly done, and then I can move on to another one, because that is apparently what I do now. So that's all of my knitting at the moment. I am kind of trying to get things off the needles before I cast them on, so I will want to knit the other one of this and the other one of my 9-inch circular ones before I cast on a new pair of the socks. I also kind of want to knit a hat, because I've got this idea for a design burning in my head. I'm like, yeah, I can knit that. No, you can't, Rachel. You need to calm down. There's that. And yeah, things. I have been doing some sewing. I have been making another of these shirts. This time in this lovely sort of navy blue with sort of an abstract floral design, or bugs, whatever you want to call them. I am really proud of the finishing on this. So the top stitching is really quite even. My favourite top detail is at the back. It's really hard on a dark fabric, but we've got this lovely box pleat here and a neat line of top stitching across the yoke. So it's got a lovely neat yoke. Everything has been hand stitched down, so the collar stand has been hand stitched. as has the yoke facing, although I didn't quite cover some of the seams. I've made my own bias binding and stitched that down for the armholes. So that's all the way around there. All I've got left to do is bottom hem and the buttonholes. I do have the buttons ready to go, so I just need to find the time to sit down, and I think I will do the buttonholes first, sew on the buttons and then do the bottom hem, just to check that everything's level down here. But apart from that, we are nearly done. I've just been too tired at the moment to actually give myself permission. Well, the thing is, I feel I should work during the day, and by the time I've done some work, I'm too tired to sew. So maybe I just need to give myself permission to sew during the day so I can get this done. I also need to make my summer ball dress at some point, which is going to be made of viscose, so that's going to be entertaining. I have cut out my toile though to check bodice fits, so we will do that first. So maybe I just need to turn around to myself and go, yo, have a sewing day. But I also feel I should do some work first. So yeah, sewing in progress. I do not have any scrapbooking, but I'm sure that doesn't surprise you. I ordered some photos though, so that's helpful. I'm not sure what else to say. I haven't done any, well, I have been doing research, but my research is for my dissertation now, which just so happens I've been approved to do my research on people's perceptions of knitting and how that can be seen as public history. So at some point I will be needing knitters to survey, so keep an eye out for that. So yeah. So a lot of my work at the moment is reading about knitting, which feels not like work, which is why I'm going to read about family history and what was the other thing? Family history and memory theory today, just so I feel like I'm working. Because, oh, this is really funny. So I requested a book on interlending, the interlending library, and none of the university libraries had it. So I got an email from my library saying, we could not get this book that you requested, so we're going to buy it. So now my library owns a copy of Susan Crawford's The Vintage Shetland Project, which you are currently balancing on. I find it quite entertaining. I've put a lot of other interlending requests in as well, so maybe soon my library will have its own knitting section. Oh, it'll be funny. Hence why I'm also bringing in family history and genealogy and trying to get back to roots, and nostalgia. So I don't have to entirely use up the library's budget. So if you have any recommended readings for that as well, that would be swell. So yes, I'm going to log off now because work to do. Yeah, thank you very much for coming to join me and for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time with me, especially as I am so infrequent. But your support really means a lot to me. So thank you very much, and I shall see you again soon. Have a nice month, guys. Bye.